Hi, I'm Joseph with Premier Security. Today we're going to talk about how to stop your car from being broken into. To clarify, we're talking about cars being broken into and items being stolen from inside the car. We're not talking about cars themselves being stolen, where someone hot wires the car and then takes off with it. I'm sorry if your car has ever been broken into, and I hope this helps in stopping your car from being broken into in the future. Okay, as a disclaimer, first of all, I'd like to say that nothing is foolproof, but these tips can seriously reduce the chance of a car break-in. How do I know? Well, first of all, I've worked in security for almost 20 years, and almost all reported car break-ins that we've ever received were avoidable, especially if the car owner had followed tip number 1. So let's get started. Tip number 1. If you remember nothing else, remember this one. The vast majority of car break victims didn't do this and ended up paying for it. And that tip is, leave nothing visible. Put away all your valuables and even remove smaller, non-valuable items. They might not be worth much to you, but somebody peeking into your car might not know their value and think, why not? So many car break-ins are crimes of opportunity. Somebody with a flexible moral code may have had no intention of hitting your car, but because something is sitting in there, visible, the enticement is there. Just look around at YouTube right now. Look at all those bait bike videos. A bike is left laying around, usually with a long wire attached to it or a remote control with the ability to stop it. And a thief walks up, looks around, and then hops on the bike and then takes off, only to be forcibly ejected when the bike comes to a halt, usually a very swift halt. And my sense is that these people who walk by and steal the bicycle in the first place in these videos aren't doing so because they were on the prowl for an unattended bike at that particular time. Instead, they saw what they thought was an opportunity in the moment and they took it, literally. So many thefts from cars operate on that very same principle. A criminally prone person walks by and the stuff sitting in your car is just too enticing for them to avoid. That doesn't mean it's your fault. You're not the one committing the crime after all. But if you have the means to avoid these kinds of crimes, taking the steps to do so is a good idea. You wouldn't jump into shark-infested waters wearing a meat suit, so don't leave your car in a busy parking lot with valuables in plain view. Okay, tip number 2 is really just an extension of tip number 1. Don't leave bags or boxes, even if they're empty, visible in your car. Someone looking in the car can't necessarily see that they're empty. Pay special attention around Christmas, as car break-ins really spike at this time of year with all the presents sitting in cars, as people go to and from particular stores and just throw the presents into the car. Also, take off the faceplate to your car radio, even if you just hide it in the console or the glove compartment. And true, if your car does get hit, they'll probably find that, but right now we're just really trying to reduce the chance of someone hitting or breaking into your car in the first place. Another tip is park in well-lit areas. Criminals don't like to be seen committing crimes, and to a well-lit area is far less likely to be hit than a darker area. Not foolproof, but again, it can help. Also, if you can afford it, get tinted windows. Dark windows, especially on a car with a dark interior, can make it very difficult for thieves to notice anything of potential interest. And these cars tend to get bypassed when somebody is casing a number of cars. So we've talked about crimes of opportunity, but keep in mind there are still plenty of car break-ins perpetuated by people who are out and about specifically casing cars to break into them. These are car thieves, professional car thieves. So look for these potential thieves. They often dress very similarly. They'll usually wear a hoodie or a hat to obscure their features. They're almost always on a bicycle for a quick getaway, and they'll frequently have a backpack in which to store their stolen goods. So if you see a grown man on a BMX bike with a backpack, that should make you very suspicious, especially if that person seems to be biking around slowly or aimlessly, or they're cruising slowly by cars and looking into them. If they're not on a bike, sometimes they're also working teams out of a car, with one acting as the driver and then one hopping out to do the car break-in. And obviously, because it's a little harder to spot that versus a guy on a bicycle with a backpack, they're a little tougher to stop and to avoid. But know the high crime areas also and avoid them if you can. If they can't be avoided, be extra vigilant when you park in these areas. Most medium to large communities will have a crime map on their police website showing the hot spots in your particular town. Large parking lots are commonly hit, like at a mall or apartment complex lots late at night. Working in the security industry, we encounter a lot of reports of car break-ins, and the almost universal quality that they share is that something of interest was visible in your car. Personally, I drive a black car with a black interior and darkly tinted windows. I never leave anything visible in the car, not even little small bits of trash. Not only does this leave a tidy car, but in 20 plus years of driving and working in security, I have never had this car or any previous car that I've owned ever broken into, and I've parked in some plenty sketchy areas. So let's do a quick recap. 1, never leave anything visible in your car, even if it's not valuable or it's something that's empty. Don't leave empty boxes or bags in the car. Take off the faceplate to your radio and hide it. Park in well-lit areas if you can. And 5, get tinted windows if you can afford it. Keep an eye out for people who match the description of car thieves and who are demonstrating typical car thief behavior, like casing cars. And avoid high crime areas where you can avoid it, or be extra careful when you're parking in those areas. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions for future topics I can cover, feel free to drop a message. I'll see you guys next time.